Okay.
Hello, everybody. Hello. We are absolutely honored and delighted to have Mayor Baraka visiting our Newark campus today. And to give an official welcome to Mayor Baraka, I'd like to introduce Earl Brown. I'm sure you all know him, who's the Chief Operating Officer of the Newark campus. Earl?
Thank you, Terry. So good morning, everyone, and I like to welcome everyone here. I especially like to welcome the mayor. We met several times and have several conversations, but just for the sake of this, I want to formally introduce myself. I'm the campus operating officer here at the Newark campus, overseeing operations and our strategic initiatives, and it's such a pleasure to finally have you on campus, to most importantly to meet our students. This is something that they've been looking forward to for a long time, and for you to walk with them and talk with them and give them inspiration, that makes our job so much easier. I don't think I really need to really give his background. He's been done such a tremendous job in this city. The growth that we've seen, the growth that's going forward is going to be amazing. And one of the most important things, I think, is that throughout a lot of his speeches, he always mentions how he wants to make Newark a hub for so many different things. And one of his commitments is higher education. He mentioned not just being a college town, but a higher education hub, not just for the region, but for the nation. And that's something that we would like to continue to support his initiatives, so that I know that our students and our graduates will support him. So without further ado, I'd like to just introduce the mayor here to just say a few words and give us some of his insight. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
This is pretty interesting. So I want to thank you first for inviting me to Berkeley and see the work that you're doing. The kids, obviously, they seem to be pleased with what's happening here. Hopefully, you didn't just introduce me to the 7 people who like it. But they obviously have a lot of great things to say about the school, and their relationship to it is very good. They feel obviously like this is a home for them away from home. And I get that sense from them, and that's a positive thing, particularly in a very difficult time that we're in. The access to higher education is not as easy and accessible as we would like it to be. There are many folks who do not have the opportunity. One, because there are no pipelines that move them in these spaces. Two, they don't have the kind of financial wherewithal to afford going further at the university. So it really closes off the American dream to millions of American young people and adults. So it is good that we are trying to do that here, and you guys have been a part of the Newark City Learning Collaborative, which is a great thing. We are moving very rapidly and trying to get more Newark residents, young people that departed higher education. Rutgers has been doing an outstanding job. Other places have been following, and we need that to be a consistent kind of effort around to actually find the kids in these neighborhoods and get them the pipelines that they need that lead them right to higher education, to skills, to vocation, to career. All of that is, the only thing that I think that's going to change what's happening in this city and many cities like this. And I think the country itself, when they look at the labor market, they exclude millions of people who are not in the labor market, and which affects the GDP, affects the growth of this country economically, affects the labor market, affects all of the things that people talk about. They are very simple fixes to me. In terms of how to grow the GDP, how to grow the economy, how to, increase the labor pool, how to do those things, pay people more money, give them decent jobs, access to education. There are millions of people who do not have access to many of these things. And if we did that, we would change what's happening overnight. I think Newark would be changed overnight if we made sure that all the kids that graduated from high school went to college, and that there was those that go to college move on into a career, get a well-paying job that moves them into the middle class. They contribute to society, to the economy. It changes dramatically overnight the trajectory of the city, of these families, of this country. And that's basically, what we're in this for. And so I applaud you for the efforts that you're doing here at the college, and whatever we can do at the city side to help make sure that more of our kids have an opportunity. Please count us in. So thank you.
Good afternoon. Mayor, it's a pleasure to have you here. I'm Kevin Lewing, Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Berkeley College. We're really proud to be in Newark. We were started in 1931 in East Orange, New Jersey, and 75 years later, for our 75th anniversary, we opened up here in Newark. We had in between left Essex County. We moved our East Orange campus to Woodland Park, so we were really happy to be back in Essex County, and especially to serve the city of Newark. Newark had been on our radar for a while, and we felt the timing was finally right around 2006 when they opened up the light rail right here. We had the Devils coming in, and we had been active with a number of the businesses in the town and also a lot of the community partners. We worked with NJPAC and a number of other ones. All of our campuses, we'd like to be a part of the community, whether it's our students, our faculty and staff. We have community service days and have been active in different nonprofits in Newark, and our students have as well. We always say to our students that your campus is not just this building, it's the whole city of Newark, and we enjoy being right here on Washington Park where our students can enjoy that and also mingle with other college students and business people and have ready access to the library and a lot of other services that the city provides. So again, we're very pleased to be here, and let me turn it over now to our president, Michael Smith.
So good afternoon, Mayor. I grew up right down the street from you. I grew up in South Orange, and I've been watching Newark for many, many years. And there's been a number of your predecessors who came in who had great hopes and great expectations as to what was going to happen in Newark. And we were always waiting for Newark to catch a gear. And it's really interesting to see where Newark is at now and what you've been able to do with your leadership. So we are really appreciative to see where Newark is going and headed. When we purchased this property here for a school, this building was really just a shell. It was in rough shape. It probably had been a good 15 years since it had been occupied. But we believed in the future of Newark. We believed in the opportunity for the students. So we came, we built out this space, and we really are so happy to be here at this point. As Kevin said, we're back in Essex County after having not been in here for a period of time. And the mission of Berkeley College is to take students from where they are to where they need to be. You know very, very clearly the challenges that you have with the K-12 system here in Newark. You're dealing with it probably much more so than many other mayors of other comparative communities throughout the U.S. And you are so right on when you talk about where the future is and where the opportunities are. The ability to generate an education for a student is a game changer. And the reality is for students who succeed, for individuals who succeed, are the ones who have the educations that are out there now. The reality for Berkeley College is that we're dealing with students that are coming out through the K-12 systems. Fortunately for us on one end, and we'll talk a little bit about it from an employment perspective, is that employers haven't lowered their standards. So while we're having challenges in the K-12 space, it just means for schools like Berkeley College you have a larger gap. Now Berkeley, as Kevin mentioned, has been in existence for 86 years. And the challenge for us is how do you take students with relative levels of skills, attention, and also that internal grit that they have and convert it into making them labor ready. Because what we need to do is we need to have students when they graduate from our institution and when they walk across that graduation stage to be on the other side, be able to work and be gainfully employed by employers. Something that Berkeley's been doing for 86 years and we continue to do going forward. We do our annual graduation ceremony at the Prue Center, and last year we had about 2,100 students walk across the stage from our New York and New Jersey institutions. And we talk about how you measure an institution that's effective. Well, within the last year, the New York Times put out a study by an institution that measured what college institutions are doing the most as far as moving students up income levels. And Berkeley College, New Jersey was ranked in the top 4% of all schools in the country. They measured 2,100 colleges, and Berkeley College is in the top 4%. Our New York City college was in the top 1% of all schools in the country, moving students from household family incomes up multiple quartiles. So that's what we do, and that's what we're focused on, that's what we're successful on. Now, Berkeley College is different than a lot of other institutions because what we do is that we're very, very focused on getting students across the graduation stage. We'll talk about the employment aspects because we're phenomenal in that. But the challenge that we have with students is getting them through. And we know that these days students have challenges. Students are going to be pressed as to their ability to succeed and be able to make it through college. They're going to come in with a certain level of skills. They're going to come in with a certain manner of learning and have their ability to succeed, even their confidence in themselves. These days, students who are coming out from traditional high school and right into college don't necessarily have the confidence. And as you meet our students and talk to our students, you're going to see the very life issues that you deal with on a daily basis with your citizens and residents in Newark. These are our students, and they bring those same challenges and issues to the school space. Sometimes it's a lack of economic resources. Sometimes, we have students that have parking issues. We have students that have child care issues. We have students that have, as I spoke before, about confidence issues in themselves. Students, the issues that they have in life are the issues that they bring to their school. And so much of the focus is for institutions. Again, we're very pleased to be part of the Newark Learning Collaborative, and we see great potential in that organization. And we're dealing with a number of really, really good schools in that space. And the idea and the mission and the vision are all things that are going to move Newark forward and move, more importantly, the students of Newark forward and create an economic engine for this community to be able to succeed even more than the trajectory that it's on now. But the challenge that we have for these students is to really have them, not necessarily get into college, because a lot of focus and a lot of talk in the space now has been about getting students into college, but it's not really getting students into college that we're as focused on. We're focused on getting students out of college, because a student who comes into college, and many students these days take out loans for their college education, if they come in, they take out loans and they don't graduate, then they're in a worse position than had they ever even started, aside from the value of the education. But they're not going to have the credential they need in order to be able to succeed in the marketplace. Employers are not looking for someone with some college experience. They're looking for someone with an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or a certificate, or a graduate degree. So we're really highly focused. We probably have a higher level of support available for our students than virtually any other institution throughout the state of New Jersey. But that's what we view our mission as, because we need to make our students labor ready. But we have some other people here that are going to talk today. I'm going to give you a coin that I give to all our Berkeley associates this year, and it's based upon the theme. And this year's theme for the coin says, students write their own stories. And the idea is that we create within students the ability to choose what their destiny is going to be. Too often, individuals and students live a destiny that's of someone else's choosing. And our focus is that we will give you the skills, the tools, the support, the encouragement, the knowledge, so that you can write your own story. And when students understand that they have the ability to write their own story, that's the second most important day in their life. So with that, I'm going to give you a coin. It's below the acceptable gift level, so I don't think there'll be any challenges for you to accept this, and hopefully you can consider proudly displaying it somewhere in your office or someplace else where you put your various little gifts that are out there. But to start off, I'd like to introduce our Jerry Akulo, who's from our academic section and environment. And one of the things that Jerry really keys on how do we identify the practices and behaviors within our institution to really have our students succeed academically, taking those who who at times need remedial assistance in order to succeed, and get them through and get them across with the skills that they need in order that they can continue their academic career. So with that, Jerry Akulo.
Thank you. So I will be very short, because Michael said a lot of what I was going to say, and that is that we do, I think, especially focus on those students who are academically underprepared. And we focus on them in quite a few different ways. I think, first of all, we have a faculty that is very committed to those students, and we have a faculty who are not just academically prepared, but also professionally prepared. So they are providing those students with the skills they'll need to go out into the business arena. And I think the second thing is the support that we give them starts from the very beginning. So we have students who come in with the skill levels that we believe will not help them to succeed. So we provide them with the traditional reading, writing, and math skills that they might need. But this past year, we also focused on providing them with some of those other skills that we noticed that they still need, and that is time management and test-taking skills and study strategies. And so we've created a course for them when they come in called Applications of Learning Theory. It sounds very fancy, but it's simply about preparing them for those courses that they need when they reach their major courses. So that's what we have done. And we also have, I think, of anything, I've been at Berkeley for 20 years. I think the thing that I'm probably the most proud of is that there's a Center for Academic Success. And that is that we use that center, and the students use that center not just for help with tutoring, but for workshops and for every other thing that they might need to help them build the skills that they need. And so I think those are the kind of things that we do at Berkeley. Not only have I been here 20 years, I am a native of Newark. I grew up in Newark. I went to school in Newark. I went to Essex Catholic High School when it was on Broadway, and I actually worked in the library when I was in high school. So I'm very committed to Newark, and my mother's still here, and she makes sure that I am still very, very committed to Newark. So I want to thank you, and I now will introduce Art Pan, who is the Senior Director for Corporate Development.
First of all, Mayor, I want to say thank you, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And whatever we can do here at Berkeley College to help you achieve your goals, we'd like to be able to partner with you on that. I am the Senior Director of Corporate Development at Berkeley College, and I'm part of a group at Berkeley College that is called the Career Services area, and it is a key component to Berkeley College's success and the success of its students, graduates, and alumni. Berkeley College is very unique in that we have a career services department with close to 40 professionals working in the capacity as career services counselors as well as business developers over 9 campuses. Our function is to help identify opportunities for our students, graduates, and alumni that helps Berkeley College to empower students to achieve lifelong success in dynamic careers. That happens to be our mission statement, and we are very proud of that mission statement, and we work very hard to meet that. We are always looking for businesses where our students can do their internship, clinical, and develop the proper skills to be successful in the workforce. As we are in career services, in the year of 2017, we had close to 30 career fairs on over 9 campuses, 50 on-site recruiting events. This, along with helping prepare our students for our employment, helps to achieve our goal of what our mission statement states. We run workshops, resume preparation, dressing for success, interview skills, and overall career strategies. We take our job very seriously, and was mentioned before, I think what we do in career services really is unique amongst colleges, and we hope you were able to see that today. Thank you. Dallas Reed is our Vice President of Student Development, Campus Life.
Good afternoon, and again, Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. We know that you are quite busy in running this city and moving it forward, and also thank you for all that you've done for the city of Newark. I've had the pleasure of being with Berkeley College for 6 years, and when you did your opening remarks, you talked about a couple of things that really stuck out, and it was really about access and opportunity. And when I think about Berkeley College, I think about us providing that access. And all that we ask of our students is that desire and willingness to better their lives and to make their dreams come true. And I tell students through my department, we have the good fortune of working with them through orientation. So after admissions is done, the fruits of their labor, they're handed over to us and the rest of the student support services. And to be able to see that journey from when they walked into admission, some of them knowing what they wanted to do with their lives, and some realizing that college is my last hope and opportunity. And when you can see that journey over 18 to 48 months, and you realize that they discover within themselves what they did not know existed. And that's what we do. The very essence of my department, student development, is the development of those critical soft skills. As you know, the faculty will take care of what they need to know in the classroom. But as I'm sure you know, even through internships and employment, we are so deficient within this society in those critical thinking skills, group dynamics, how do I work with other people, interpersonal skills, how do I learn to agree to disagree with each other, and those are the things that we work with our students on. And then we also realize it's that balance of giving them some opportunities of enjoyment, right? Because we still want them to be college students. And we know that half of our students are the traditional age coming out of high school, but we also have, as you've met, some of our more seasoned, mature students, many of which that are working full-time, that are parents themselves, that are caregivers and primary financial barriers of their household. So how do you create that holistic experience for them? And that's what we do, not just simply within student development, but here at Berkeley College. And it is a true testament. I will go out on a limb and say this. I will venture to say 80 to 90% of our students at least will call this home away from home. And for many, they will call it home. It is that nurturing. It is what we call that tough love. Because like I tell them all the time, the world's going to be tough without the love. And that we've got to prepare them because they're not simply representing themselves, but they're representing the Berkeley brand. And that's really what we do here. And we've had so many students. Some have been transfer students. And there's a lot of great schools within the state and within this country. But I will put Berkeley College up against any and every one of them when it comes to developing the human being and realizing that that's what they need to be successful. I could go on and on and on, and I'm sure you could tell that. But with that being said, as I always say, it is never about me, because the reason I do what I do every day are those students that are sitting right there. So at this time, what I'd like to do before we hear from our students, I'd like to bring Terry Duda back up. Thanks so much.
I've held many different positions at Berkeley College, and a couple of things were missed, so I wanted to mention it. We require of our students that each one of them take an internship. That's very, very important. So they have real-world experience in a job before they actually get their degree, and that means a lot. It means that everything we've prepared them for, they have to take an internship before they get their degree. Secondly, we have a required financial literacy program. Well, most kids who come here, they have no idea if they get any money, what to do with it, how to, anything about paying back a loan, being financially responsible, and we require that. And as a matter of fact, in Trenton, when they heard some of the legislators saw that we had introduced a financial literacy program, they asked to see a copy of it. We've been copied. That's been copied because it's so good, and I'm so proud of that. And we also do not raise the tuition on a student if they go consecutively. You don't get a tuition increase. They can graduate with the same tuition that they started with. So I think these things are very, very important. And the other thing, I take the students to Washington, to Capitol Hill. I take them to Trenton, and we hear the same thing from the legislators. Did you rehearse these students? They really sound pretty good, and we don't. What you hear from them is totally their idea, totally comes from their heart. I want to let you know that, too. And we do, as I say, I'll echo what everybody else said. We appreciate the fact that you took time out from your busy schedule to visit our campus. Thank you. And now, do you have time to have, do you have time, do you need lunch? Because we have sandwiches and things there.
I'd rather talk to the students.
All right, okay. Thank you.
So at this moment, I would love just to spend a couple of minutes, of the remaining time we have here for a few of our students that we selected, just to, ask some questions. I feel it's always good to have this engagement and the support, and I hope that, they can ask the questions and provide some guidance for them. So start with Siobhan here.
Hello. I just want to say I appreciate everything that you've been doing in the city. I am a lifelong resident. I'm born and raised. I've raised my children in this city, so everything that you're doing is great. I also appreciate the increased police presence that you have put in the West Ward, because as you know, that is a high crime area. My question is, that increased presence that you put over there, I see that you've also done that, towards the new retail and things like that down Broad Street. When I leave here at night, it's a little sketchy for me, and I just wanted to know, are you going to increase maybe a little bit more police presence over here? Because I literally leave here sometimes about 9, maybe 10 o'clock at night, and as a woman, especially around this time, as you know, when it starts to get into the holiday season, there are a little bit more crime going on, so I just wanted to know, are you going to work looking for that?
No, absolutely. And the more this area is developed, the more,
police, put that on their radar in terms of their deployment. And, usually the police are in areas where we get a lot of complaints, right? So it's all scientific, like they don't just go E&B money low. They base it off of CompStat, so based on a lot of the calls for service, determines how they work their deployment. And so obviously, there's not a lot of calls for service down here, so they usually probably believe, that there's not necessarily a need for the amount of, visibility, but I definitely will bring that back. And as, it starts to develop down here, you got more kids coming across University Avenue, across street, more retail being developed down here in this area, it's housing going up. It'll become a neighborhood, so, that will call for more police presence down here, obviously, so that's the, more than likely will take place. But I'm gonna relay that, that you got some kids at Berkeley.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I'm sorry for not formally introducing myself. My name is Natalia Vasquez. It's also a pleasure having you here at this campus, because this campus, I think specifically, is a great representation of Berkeley College as a whole. We're very hands-on with the students. We utilize our resources more than anything. As a tutor, I always try to, tell the kids, the students overall, to, utilize all the resources. Students such as myself, I pay for school. So I try to, take advantage of all of that stuff. We work with you, especially, we have a personal lives. Some of us have kids, we have jobs, I have 2 jobs actually. They work with us. We talk to them, like I said, not that they're lenient or anything with that, tough love, but like I said, they work with us. And that's what I like most of Berkeley College. But also, to touch base on what she just mentioned, in regards to the developmental projects that, such as Whole Foods, are there any possibilities in other companies, such as like Amazon?
We're working on that, so yeah, but we daily, Amazon aside, there are myriad of different companies and businesses that are interested in moving into Newark, and we've been working at, over the last couple of years, it's pretty evident that we've been bringing people into the town, so. And stuff that people don't see is the kind of industrial jobs that come through the city, which is incredibly important. Newark still has a real manufacturing base here in the city, and because we are next to the 2nd largest port in the country, so most of what's going to happen as we move forward, as they raise what Bayonne Bridge is already done, we start to get those Panamax ships now, the bigger ships. So there's a lot of move towards that. So in terms of like the workforce and labor, warehousing, logistics, all those things are very, very, very important. Manufacturing jobs are becoming incredibly important. In fact, the jobs that are probably the most available that people don't go after is the kind of mid-skilled jobs that are out there. Like we either go for entry-level jobs or high-skilled kind of jobs. But there's a myriad of mid-skilled jobs that many New Jerseyans do not fill and have not filled. Right? So Newark has a lot of those kind of management, supervisor, kind of logistic jobs that become available. And so that those companies are coming here. Because we have the space, right? And we're next to the airport and the seaport, so they're definitely coming.
Yeah, I've definitely seen the progress, so I think, thank you for that.
Hello. My internship is with the Newark Arts Council. So we actually worked on the Open Doors Arts Festival last week. My question is, I've noticed there's a high correlation with arts and child development. So my question is, how can we implement more art-related, development programs besides the classic end pack arts education program and other things that the Newark Arts Council does? If you understand that question.
Well, you actually, speaking for the stuff that we're already doing, right? So, the arts and education, our centers of hope, all those things that are going on, we believe that art is important. So we're going to use that in physical development in the city as well as kind of social development as well. And those things are happening, and we're going to continue to try to increase that. The press conference was at was basically to show the economic kind of viability that arts have and the impact that it's had on job creation and growth in the city itself. How many jobs that are created based on the arts community here. And as you saw, thousands of jobs, millions of dollars developed, has a serious impact on it. And so we're using it as much as we possibly can. And then on the social development side, we, in all of our centers of hope around the city, not just NJ PAC, but trying to partner with the schools as well to make sure that we have a really vibrant kind of arts curriculum.
Another question. So since, well, like I said, since I work with Arts Passion, we've had a lot of artists, and they've been, not complaining, but they've been wanting a recreational space, if that makes sense, as far as not having classes, but more just a spot where you can just free roam, just freelance on their own work. It's been an idea that I've been working on myself, but I just want to see your opinion on that as to get space for arts.
Yeah, I mean, we are building out on Clinton Avenue Artist Co-op art workspace, live workspace. We're going to do many more of those like that throughout the city. We believe that artists change communities. Once the community changes, they can't afford it anymore. But we're trying to create space where that does not exist, and so we are doing that. But you have to get there and make it happen, right? So you have to take the risk and get out there. If it's something that you want to do, you have to do it. Right? I've come across a lot of artists, a lot of people. They're actually waiting for permission, and I guess the city hall will come and guide you towards it, but you got to make it happen. You got to do it. Yeah. And that's the only way it's going to be done.
I have another question. Speaking, as a mother of a young son, he doesn't want to go to college, but I did hear you speak at the State of Black Conference about a lot of these trade jobs, and that some of the people that are in these jobs are aging out, and that they're looking for some young, fresh blood. My question is, I don't really see any advertisement for it, or how can maybe I find out something for him, or even just for the community period, because there might be some people that are coming to Berkeley as well that they want to have that degree, but they also want to also research that as well. So how would I find out about that, or maybe help someone else find out about that?
Well, when I came in here, I saw a flyer on the board down there. It said one of our job expos that you guys put up. So we have those very, very, very regularly, right? So, and we have the truck going around in the city that's getting people prepared, whether it's resume preparation or what we call positive recruitment, which is we have the companies actually there, and we bring people in and they interview you on the spot, right? So we are doing that all over the city. But the job fairs, you can find that online, or you can go to the My Newark app and download our app, and it'll alert you with all the programming that we have. Yeah, there's a free app you can download. Yeah.
That's a great resource, because unlike myself, everyone, I have my future mapped out, but there are some who don't know what they want to do. So this is a good resource that I can actually relate to some people that I know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just going back on the resources that I said the students should utilize within Berkeley College, we do have job fairs frequently here, specifically this room, majority of the time, or downstairs. But we do have that, and I think that's great. Like I said, they happen very frequently. So I think, like I said, I think that's one of the resources I tell students to, to take advantage of that, and they tell us beforehand. They email us, hey, your resume's ready. We have career services that helps you with that. They tell you, to dress in semi-formal, proper attire, and stuff like that. So I think it's definitely something Berkeley College is doing to help students.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm from East Orange, and I've seen a correlation between what the arts can do for students who are, let's say, not very prominent in society. And what I want to know is what can we do to stress how important education is for these students? Because I've seen like students who come up from, let's say they're around the age group of 1998 to now, they become very, they're not really serious about academics. And I want to know what can we do to stress how important it is to actually take academics and academia seriously.
They have to see you. No, I'm serious. They have to see you. I mean, there's no program that we, you know, I go and speak at the schools every year. I have a tour. And I'm at University High Thursday. I was at West Side last week. So, but the answer to that is they have to see you. I mean, the reality is you have to model for kids and people what the outcomes are, you know? You can't, like, so all the stuff that I have to do in City Hall, like, and things that we're doing, like I was telling the gentleman here about what they need to do in terms of the art. Like, your peers are only going to be inspired by you. And that's it. Like, if you have to find time and opportunity to talk to other young people about the importance of education, the seriousness of it, and what the outcome can be. I mean, if they've seen many people go through this thing and it has not bore any real serious fruit for them, maybe they decide to do something else. Then they need to see that you did this and it's an option that's available. That's the only way, you know, to be honest and transparent. There's no, like, City Hall program we could put together to inspire people about being in school, besides singing, producing other young people that are successful here in the city that can go around and be ambassadors about what's going on.
Just be sensitive for your time. One more question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Hello, my name is Sarah. I'm a new student at Berkeley College, and what advice would you have for a new student relocating to Newark?
You're a new student in the city, period?
Yes.
Oh, okay, well. My advice, honestly, would be, as the young lady said earlier, you just take advantage of everything that, you know, is available for you, that's at your disposal now. I mean, because what you have in front of you now may not be in front of you tomorrow. Right, so you take advantage of everything that every opportunity that you have. And because you're in Newark and it's a city that's in transition, you have a lot of opportunities, especially smack dab in the middle of everything that's happening down here. There's a lot of opportunities that you should be a part of. Like, there's many corporations that are here that you should intern with, that you should go out and be a part of the programming going on in the town, that you should visit. You know, you're right in the middle of all of the other universities here. I would mingle with the other students here, take advantage of the programming that's going on in this area, and not like be introverted about your educational process. Like, get involved in all of the stuff that's going on out here. Because there's a lot of stuff happening. As I go to different events, I see a few students here and a few students there. But basically, you know, you have an opportunity and time to do a lot of the things, and you should do it now while you can.
I guess I'm the finale, Mayor. How about you? So I'm Isabel Alarcon. I'm an alum, and I also work for Berkeley. And I have to say that you were able to capture the very essence of our student population. This institution has really provided me with all the skill sets that I needed to be a professor. And I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be here. And I see the wonderful things that you're doing in Newark. And I have to say that arts and music, along with education, is very empowering because it opens you up to new experiences, and you're doing a phenomenal job. And congratulations on getting the school system back from the state. Yay!
Thank you.
And so, just want to end up, like Bruce said, we all appreciate you coming here, your commitment, your time, and speaking some guidance and some information to our students. And we hope that, you know, after this meeting, this just developed an even stronger relationship with your office and whatever we can do to support, as well as, you know, we can use some of your resources to support our students. We really appreciate it. Well, thank you.
They're always open for an internship.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.